Most of us find security in a religious routine. We show up, we say the words, and we follow the rules. It is easy to feel safe when the outward evidence of our lives suggests we are doing everything right. This creates the 98% myth. We often treat obedience like a test score, where almost perfect is good enough. However, a bridge that spans only 98% of a canyon is a catastrophe. In this context, leaving a small margin for our own desires reveals a heart that is still choosing its own path over God's. We use that high completion rate to hide from the truth. We assume the weight of everything we did right will bury the tiny, intentional areas where we refuse to submit. Israel's first king, Saul, serves as the ultimate case study of this delusion. He was tall and striking, looking exactly like a monarch should. Yet he carried a fatal internal flaw hidden safely beneath that royal armor. Outward perfection is often a shield for inward rebellion. The true test for Saul came when God gave him a highly specific order: completely destroy the nation of Amalek. This directive aimed to stop the spread of their brutal, pagan practices throughout the region. Saul decided to make an edit. He kept the enemy king alive as a trophy and spared the best livestock. He used an execution of justice as an opportunity to build his own royal legacy and wealth. When the prophet Samuel arrived, Saul greeted him with the news that he had obeyed the Lord. But Samuel simply asked why he could hear the bleating of sheep in the background. The auditory evidence of the spared animals instantly exposed the lie. Caught in the act, Saul panicked. He immediately shifted the blame to his soldiers, claiming the people saved the animals to sacrifice them to God. He attempted to mask his disobedience as an act of religious devotion. Samuel cut through the excuse. God seeks obedience over sacrifices. Because Saul rejected the word of the Lord, he lost his kingship. Realizing his crown was gone, Saul finally apologized. But his apology focused on saving his public image, proving his heart remained focused on himself rather than God. With Saul disqualified, the search for a new king moved to the house of a man named Jesse, where Samuel was sent to anoint a replacement. Jesse presented his oldest son, Eliab. Eliab was tall and impressive. Samuel took one look at him and assumed he was the chosen one, repeating the same visual error that led the nation to Saul. God immediately corrected Samuel's bias. He established a clear standard. While humans are distracted by outward appearance, God measures the condition of the heart. The Hebrew word for heart, lev, defines the control room of the entire inner person. This control center includes your mind, where you process logic and build plans, and your will, the engine where you forge your loyalty and make your daily choices. The final sector houses your emotions, the source of love, fear, and sorrow. When you lock all three of these systems together, they form the total sum of your identity. God sought a leader whose entire control center aligned with his own. That leader turned out to be David. He was Jesse's youngest son, a shepherd boy so easily overlooked that his own father hadn't even brought him inside from the fields for the prophet's visit. David was anointed king that day, but his life points directly to a much greater figure in history, Jesus Christ. These parallel tracks show the connections. Both David and Jesus originate from Bethlehem. Both are characterized as shepherds guarding a flock, and both are kings uniquely anointed by the Spirit for their mission. Yet even David, the man identified as having the right heart, would eventually commit horrific sins, including adultery and the calculated murder of a loyal soldier. Saul and David responded to failure in opposite ways. Saul justified his rebellion. David experienced genuine grief and offered total repentance. Having a heart surrendered to God means that when you fail, your heart breaks and you return to Him. This leaves you with a stark reality to confront. Is your faith real, or are you trapped in an outward performance, maintaining a very convincing image? The book of Romans explains that if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, you will be saved. Verbal confession is only the outward part. It must be accompanied by a heart that turns away from self-glorification. Reciting a prayer as a child offers no protection if your current control center, your mind, your will, and your emotions, is not actively surrendered today. The challenge is to stop living for appearances. If God truly has your heart, then pleasing Him becomes the primary motivating factor for every choice you make. You have to make a choice. You can remain in the comfortable illusion of the 98%, or you can drop the excuses and finally surrender who you are.